The Natsu Basho 2025 begins with fierce battles on the dohyo. Let's see the best bout, and in the end, how did Onosato and Hoshoryu do? Watch the summary from day 1 on the SumoSpirit channel. The first day's bout began with Tochi Tai against Mitakayumi. The match began with an explosive tachiai. Mitakayumi, renowned for his strength in the initial grip, charged forward with determination, aiming to push Tochi Tai with all his might. However, the younger and more agile Tochi Tai, whose style relies on mobility, countered the initial charge with a double palm strike and capitalized on his rival's momentum to execute a hatakikomi. With precision, Tochi Tai deflected Mitakayumi's right arm downward with one hand while pulling from the back of his head, causing the former Ozeki to lose balance and crash forward onto the ground with ferocity. The technique, executed in just 3 seconds, sent the crowd into a roar of applause. The day continued with an intense showdown between Endo and Shodai, two veterans of the dohyo with rich sumo careers. Endo, coming off a 7-8 record, aimed to reassert his trademark style, while Shodai, desperate after a 6-9 showing, needed a strong start. From the tachiai, Endo launched into his trademark thrusts, looking to destabilize his opponent early. Shodai answered by closing the distance, fighting to grab a solid hold on Endo's mawashi. What followed was a gripping exchange of tactics and strength as both Rikishi battled for control. Endo gradually found his footing, resisted Shodai's efforts, and turned the tide. With determination and precise timing, he secured a powerful lock and drove Shodai out of the ring with a clean yorikiri. It was a hard-fought win and a strong opening statement from Endo. The third match featured May versus Midori Fuji, both entering with 9-6 records and contrasting styles. May had the edge in their rivalry, leading 6-4 and defeating Midori Fuji in March. At the tachiai, Midori Fuji launched forward with speed, aiming to outmaneuver his opponent. May absorbed the charge and attempted a hatakikomi, pulling aside to unbalance him. But as May's momentum carried him toward the edge, Midori Fuji turned the tables with perfect timing. In a flash, he capitalized on the opening and finished the bout with a swift move. The win marked a sharp start for Midori Fuji and a frustrating stumble for May. Next match, Tobiaru against Hakuo. From the outset, both opponents opted for close-quarters grappling. Tobiaru quickly gained an early advantage by leaning into Hakuo's lower left side with a hip maneuver, preventing an outside grip. Hakuo persisted in attempting a left-hand mawashi grip, briefly succeeding before Tobiaru repelled it. In the end, both managed to grab each other's belts with their left hands, waiting to see who would take the initiative. When Tobiaru resumed the struggle with the kotenage attempt, it proved his undoing. Dragged to the edge of the dohyo, Hakuo capitalized by executing a yori taoshi, pushing him frontally and collapsing on him outside the platform. In the next match, we have Ura, known for his speed and agility, and Ichi Yamamoto, characterized by his strength and technique, particularly in direct confrontations. The warrior in the pink mawashi displayed his characteristic speed, charging forward with a series of lateral thrusts while maintaining a low stance, attempting to destabilize his rival and drive him toward the dohyo's edge. Aware of the threat, Ichi Yamamoto held a firm posture, using his weight and balance to resist Ura's movements and keep him at bay with powerful two-handed thrusts. The opening seconds were an intense exchange. At one point, Ura pushed Ichi Yamamoto dangerously close to the edge of the circle and charged at him, but Ichi Yamamoto reacted in time, sidestepping with a hatakikomi to let the pink mawashi wrestler fall at his feet. After deliberation, Ichi Yamamoto secured his first victory of the day. Next up was Takeru Fuji versus Hiadoomi, both entering with matching 9-6 records and everything to fight for. The tachiai was thunderous, their clash echoing through the arena. Takeru Fuji spotted his chance mid-bout, expertly trapping Hiadoomi's right arm. As Hiadoomi pushed forward with all his might, Takeru Fuji held his ground and unleashed a fierce Tsukio to Shi, a slap to the face followed by a sharp downward thrust. Hiadoomi lost his balance and hit the ground with both hands, sealing his defeat. The referee confirmed the win, and the crowd roared in approval. Hiadoomi, though beaten, stood with honor and bowed respectfully to his rival. Let's continue with Takayasu against Tamawashi. Takayasu, the March tournament runner-up with a 12-3 record, faced Tamawashi, who held a 10-5 record. At the start, both charged fiercely forward. Tamawashi shifted slightly to the left to surprise and gain an advantage over his opponent, and he succeeded. He applied neck grips while Takayasu struggled to break free, retreating in the process. This proved costly as Tamawashi drove him to the edge of the dohyo and expelled him frontally with an oshidashi. Though simple in description, this technique requires immense strength and precision, especially against an opponent like Takayasu, known for his stability and power. Without touching the mawashi, Tamawashi forced his rival out of the platform while maintaining constant contact, securing a 1-0 victory to close day 1 of the Natsu Basho, while Takayasu began the tournament with a humiliating defeat. Daisho versus Abi. Same age and same weight, this bout promised a lot. At the starting signal, Abi landed a slap to his rival's face to stun him, but Daisho stood firm against further thrusts and responded with his own. The crowd held its breath as the two wrestlers engaged in intense grappling. For a moment, it seemed the bout might drag on, but then came the pivotal moment. Daisho had briefly staggered Abi and, with his experience and cunning, positioned his hands inside Abi's arms, breaking his defense. He returned a slap to Abi's face and, with a swift and precise move, executed a tsukyo to shi, a downward pushing technique that completely unbalanced Abi. The Megashira, unable to maintain balance, fell to the ground. Oho vs. Cotto Zakura was the surprise of the night. Cotto Zakura opened with a powerful thrust, trying to drive Oho out, but Oho sidestepped and reset the bout at the center. They grappled intensely, unable to secure a mawashi grip, raising the tension. Cotto Zakura reached for an inside hold, but Oho countered by trapping his arms. Cotto Zakura escaped and charged again, but Oho sealed the win with a sharp katasuka shi. The crowd erupted after the thrilling exchange. Now we have to see Ozeki Onosato against Wakamoto Haru. If we're talking about the best bout, this could be it without a doubt. The record favored Onosato with a 12-3, having been crowned champion of the March tournament. Wakamoto Haru, with a 9-6 record, led their previous encounters but lost to Onosato via Oshidashi in the prior tournament. This was his golden opportunity to reach the Yokozuna rank. Onosato began with a double-handed attack to Wakamoto Haru's head to unbalance him. Wakamoto Haru responded with the same maneuver, but Onosato slipped his arm inside and applied a yorikiri, expelling his rival frontally to end the bout quickly. The dessert of the night was Hoshoryu against Wakatakakage. Yokozuna Hoshoryu withdrew from the March competition and earned only 5 wins in his Yokozuna debut. He admitted he did not want to disappoint his fans further and is gradually recovering from a right elbow injury sustained earlier this year. Wakatakakage, meanwhile, arrived with a 6-6 record. In less than 2 seconds, the bout ended when Wakatakakage slid to the left at the tachiai, but the Mongolian demonstrated his dominance and speed, pursuing and expelling him with an oshidashi, displacing his opponent beyond the ring's boundaries.
Great tachiai by Hoshoryu, the Yokozuna, overpowering